Welcome to the third episode of Power Podcast. Today, we are taking a deep, critical look at how we build the relationships that actually lead to lasting success. We are tearing down the conventional wisdom of transactional networking. The idea that you just collect business cards and wait for the perfect moment to make an ask.
Exactly. Our mission today is really to move past that cynical, sort of extractive view of connections. We've been diving into a fantastic stack of sources that lay out a radical yet incredibly simple new framework. We are extracting the 6.5 foundational assets and the numerous strategies necessary for building truly RECH relationships.
Nice CH relationships.
Yeah, relationships that deliver far more than just monetary wealth. We're talking about immense success and fulfillment, too.
Okay, and here is the central thesis, the absolute hook for today, right? We are fundamentally moving past the conventional concept of who you know to explore this radical, powerful philosophy that success comes down to. Who knows you?
That flip is everything.
If you get that flip right, if you understand how to become the valuable asset in the room, everything changes about your career trajectory and your personal satisfaction.
Completely changes the game.
So let's start with the foundational truth of connections. It seems obvious, maybe, but we often overlook it when we are focused on cold metrics, quarterly reports, that kind of thing. I'm talking about the sheer, undeniable power of friendliness.
It's the universal, undeniable truth synthesized across all our source material. All things being equal, people inherently want to do business with their friends. It's just human nature.
Right. Makes sense.
But here is the critical nuance, the thing that makes this philosophy so powerful. All things being not quite so equal. Meaning, perhaps your competitor has a slightly better product, maybe a marginally lower price. People still want to do business with their friends.
Even then.
Even then.
Yeah.
This isn't just a soft skill. It's a real competitive advantage.
That makes perfect sense. We are fundamentally emotional, social creatures at the end of the day. So, okay, if we want to build these powerful connections, what are the core attributes we need to focus on?
The sources really boil this down to 3 actionable components you need to cultivate. First, your inherent friendliness, your likability factor, Second, your ability to engage, to actually listen, converse, hold someone's interest.
Okay.
And critically, third, your willingness to give value first. That's the big one.
Yeah.
If you combine those 3 elements consistently, you naturally start forming those durable, rich relationships.
And before we dive into the assets, let's be precise about the terminology. When we use the term rich relationships, what are we actually defining here?
Well, rich is intentionally defined as a description for everything but money, at least initially.
Everything but money. Interesting.
Yeah. A rich relationship brings success, fulfillment, broad life satisfaction. Wealth, in this context, is holistic. It's about the whole picture. Look, if your network only brings you a bigger bank account but leaves you miserable or isolated or unfulfilled, you haven't built a rich relationship.
Right.
You've built a transactional one. And those, well, they tend to collapse under stress.
That distinction is key, I think, because it sets the mindset away from the old guard of transactional networking, which was embodied by that one specific item, the little black book.
Ah, yes, the little black book.
Historically, that was a physical book, right? Full of private, maybe secret contacts and phone numbers of people who could, make things happen.
And that concept is now, frankly, antiquated. The problem is that the little black book has evolved into something far more fragile, disposable even.
How so?
Today, it's digital. It's a contact database in your PDA, your laptop, Outlook, ACT, whatever you use. It's purely functional data. It's a database, not really a relationship ledger that tracks shared history or, crucially, value given.
And this leads to what the sources call the ultimate panic point. It's like a litmus test for the modern networker. Think about this for a moment, and we challenge you, the listener, to confront this reality. How lost, how completely paralyzed would you be if your entire list of digital contacts, your emails, your cloud backups, your phones list suddenly vanished? Gone.
The sources offer a really stark analysis here. You wouldn't just be inconvenienced. You'd move into the realm of pure panic.
Panic. Wow.
Because for many people, their business infrastructure would literally be gone. This highlights the inherent paradox of modern connections. The authors point out, people who grew up before cell phones, they can often recall phone numbers from 40 or 50 years ago, like that Atlantic City exchange, AT25740, mentioned in the source.
I remember exchanges like that.
Exactly. But those same people probably couldn't recite their own children's numbers today because they rely entirely on speed dial.
Guilty as charged, probably.
Right. It proves how dependent and therefore how delicate our connection mechanisms are now. It
Mm.
just underscores the vital importance of building genuine, redundant relational backup, something that exists outside of a server farm somewhere.
That analogy perfectly illustrates the difference, doesn't it? Having information versus having a true relationship. If your primary connection mechanism is that fragile, you haven't built a fortune. You've built a highly vulnerable structure.
Which brings us to the ultimate litmus test for a network. It's borrowed from the legendary Harvey Mackay.
Oh, Mackay, good stuff.
His question was simple but profound. Who can you call at 2 a.m.?
2 in the morning.
Yeah. That simple question is the measure of ultimate trust, reciprocity, richness in a relationship. If you can only call someone during business hours to, quote, pick their brain, or, as the author puts it, suck their blood, then you don't have rich relationships.
Ouch! Suck their blood.
It's harsh, but it makes the point. You just have professional acquaintances who tolerate you.
And that's a perfect warning sign for anyone considering adopting this methodology. The sources are crystal clear on this. The science and sport of connecting is not for the fast buck, impatient entrepreneur
Right.
or the purely transactional salesperson. If your primary goal is just to close one quick sale and move on, this philosophy simply won't work for you.
It's the wrong mindset entirely. This methodology is about building a fortune, meaning sustained success and a network that lasts for decades. To achieve that, you have to focus relentlessly on getting them to benefit first, always. Okay, let's begin detailing these 6.5 foundational assets that underpin this whole process. We start with asset 1, the inventory. Simply put, who do I know?
And this starts with an immediate and often surprising realization, right? That you've made thousands of connections throughout your life.
Thousands. Old classmates, former coworkers, distant family members, past customers.
Yeah.
List goes on.
Most of them have probably faded. Maybe you haven't talked in years. But the source emphasizes a critical point here. They aren't truly forgotten, just disconnected.
Exactly. There is immense power, immense human capital, just sitting there, often untapped. Reflecting on who you have known in the past is crucial.
So the goal here is not just collecting names again. It's about harnessing that existing human capital.
Precisely. It's not just knowing them. It's committing to staying in contact, staying top of mind, and constantly providing value to them over time. So the actionable inventory required is simple, but honestly demanding. You need to compile a comprehensive list and group them somehow. Friends, customers, coworkers, important people you know casually, whatever makes sense for you.
Okay, you've got this potentially huge list. What's the most critical first step once that list is compiled?
You must take 2 actions. First, consolidate their current email addresses. It's still generally the most efficient channel for consistent communication, according to the sources.
Email, okay.
Second, and this is probably the most important part, you must define, even if it's through an educated guess at first, their biggest needs. What keeps them up at night? What challenges are they facing?
So you need a game plan.
You need a game plan to communicate answers to those needs, not just to send them a generic holiday card or something. That analysis turns a simple list into a powerful strategy.
Now, to help the listener assess where they stand right now, the sources provide a kind of little black book connection report card. It asks some pointed questions.
Very pointed. Are you constantly meeting new people? Do you follow up with them immediately? Do you help others regularly, even when there's no immediate benefit for you?
And maybe the most telling question.
Yeah. Do the most powerful people in your community or industry know you? Not just know of you, but actually know you.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
The scoring on this report card is designed to be a painful gut check. It really is. If you score between 60 and 69, you're in what the author calls the big slub.
The big club.
Yes, the large group of people who think they're pretty good at networking, but are actually just, well, mediocre.
Harsh but fair, maybe.
They have just enough connections to survive, maybe, but not nearly enough to truly thrive. And if you score lower, the harsh reality is you're either fundamentally disconnected or you are consistently being passed over by those who have genuinely mastered this connection process.
That intense self-assessment leads straight into asset 2. What do I want? This sounds simple, but it's often ignored, isn't it? The truth that if you don't know what you want, if you haven't defined your destination, you'll probably never get there.
Clarity of intent is absolutely fundamental. It's non-negotiable. And this needs to be specific, whether it's a defined career choice, a specific connection goal in a new industry, or maybe a defined personal growth path. You need that clarity.
And how does this relate to networking specifically?
Well, networking, the source suggests, requires a combination of 2 things. a sharply focused game plan, and serendipity.
Game plan and serendipity seems like opposites.
They kind of are, but you need both. You actively target who you want to meet based on your goals. That's the game plan. But you also must be prepared for the most powerful connections to happen unexpectedly when you are simply positioned in the right place at the right time and ready to seize the opportunity. That's the serendipity part.
Okay, so you're clear on what you want. You're prepared for serendipity. When you are ready to make a move, how should you approach that initial contact? The sources outline 2.5 basic ways to meet someone.
Right. Way number 1, trying on your own. Think mail, cold calls.
The classic methods.
Yeah, and it's explicitly called not the best way. It relies purely on chance and your own persuasive power, which is honestly the hardest approach. It's got the lowest probability of success.
So if that's the hardest, what's better?
Way number 2, getting others to help you. This is far superior. A third-party introduction provides instant credibility and leverage. It's like borrowing trust.
Can you give an example of how that plays out?
Sure. The sources give a great one. Imagine an author's customer, maybe a golf equipment manufacturer. And this customer happens to know someone important at, say, GOLF magazine. The customer offers an introduction. Boom. That introduction instantly opens the door for the author to pitch a column idea, something they wanted to do.
Just like that.
But wait, the power multiplies. Because the author, practicing this give-first philosophy, realizes this new contact at the magazine needs something to maybe a high-end print ad salesman. So the author connects them with one. Now you have interconnection built on mutual value, born instantly from that initial introduction.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So the third party doesn't just open a door, they vouch for your integrity, and then you immediately reinforce it by giving value back.
Exactly. It creates a positive loop.
And what about the most powerful method, the 2.5 way? What's the half step?
That is the ultimate goal. Get them to call you or get them to know you first before you even reach out.
So they initiate.
Yes. This is the culmination of the whole value philosophy, where you have built such credible, attractive positioning in the marketplace that they're initiating contact for a specific, mutually beneficial reason. You've become the gravitational center of value in your niche.
That sounds like the dream scenario.
It is, but it's achievable.
Hmm.
Now, to clarify your existing relationships and see where you stand right now, there's a really useful exercise, the value exchange exercise.
Okay, walk us through the steps. How do we do this?
All right. List your top 10, maybe 15, significant connections, people who matter to your career or life, and then objectively note 4 things about each one. Just be honest with yourself.
4 things. Got it.
First, what do you have in common? Shared interests, history, whatever. Second, what have you gained from the connection so far? Be specific. Third, what do you want to continue to gain in the future from this relationship? Again, clarity. And finally, and this is the moment of reckoning for most people, what have you given to earn and keep the connection? What tangible or intangible value have you consistently provided to them?
And that's where the brutal AHA moment hits most people, isn't it?
It really is. The sources are absolutely honest here. When you try to write down the consistent non-transactional value you've delivered to them, there's often, well, nothing. Or at least not nearly enough.
Just blank space on the page.
Pretty much. That gap defines the chasm between a transactional contact and a truly rich relationship. The core truth here, the great paradox of connecting, is that the easiest and surest way to get what you want is to relentlessly, consistently focus on what you can give.
Okay, so once you have your inventory sorted out, asset 1, and you've got that clarity of intent, asset 2, asset 3 is all about taking action. But crucially, taking prepared action. The source material warns strongly against just rushing in due to anxiety.
That anxiety-driven action, it's killer. Trying to make connections before you are truly ready often backfires spectacularly.
Especially with referrals, right? That seems like a key point.
Absolutely. Preparedness is paramount there.
Yeah.
If a friend gives you a high-value referral, that natural anxiousness to jump on it yourself often ruins the opportunity. You call too soon, maybe you sound desperate, you haven't done your homework, and boom, you get shut down.
So what's the alternative? The smarter way?
The better, smarter, and yes, sometimes slower way is arranging a 3-way lunch or breakfast. Get together in a neutral, safe environment.
There are 3 of you.
Yes. This way, the person who referred you is right there. They can affirm your credibility in real time, share some context. It makes the connection warm, compelling, and nearly guarantees a successful start to the relationship.
I can see how that bypasses the natural skepticism that comes with any kind of cold outreach, even if it's a referral. The trust is transferred instantly by the introducer being present.
Exactly. It builds an immediate bridge.
And this need for preparation, maybe even moral courage, it extends beyond just business deals, doesn't it? There's a powerful high school anecdote from the author in the sources.
Yes, that story speaks volumes about true character and credibility, which really is the bedrock of rich relationships. In high school, the author's friend Kenny was unfairly voted down from joining the Vikings Club. Just petty reasons, apparently.
Okay.
The author witnessed this injustice, saw it happen, and immediately, on the spot, stood up and quit the club in defense of his friend. Publicly.
Wow, that takes guts in high school.
It does. He recounts it as his first official speech, totally spontaneous and act of integrity. And the result? The other club members were apparently shamed by his conviction. They immediately held another vote, and Kenny was voted in unanimously.
That is fascinating. The rejection wasn't even his, but his response to the injustice earned him immense credibility.
Precisely. It reinforces the idea that learning from rejection, even someone else's, having the courage to act righteously and affirming your credibility by doing the right thing even when it's hard, that sets the stage for future success and deeper connections. People remember that stuff.
Absolutely. That deep moral credibility, that's what people genuinely want to connect to, isn't it?
It really is. So, okay, let's move into the more practical elements now, the 17.5 strategies and rules of connecting laid out in the source. We can't possibly cover all 17.5 in detail.
17.5, what's the half?
You'll see. It's a good one. But let's focus on some key principles that drive attraction and build that essential relational credibility.
All right, let's start with the basics of just interacting with people.
Rule 1 is foundational, maybe the most important. Be friendly first. Friendliness. It's the highest form of likability, builds instant trust.
Simple, but powerful.
Its twin. Rule 3 is use eye contact. Good eye contact. It's not just a sign of confidence. It's a display of truth, respect, and sincerity for the other person. It immediately cuts through superficial interactions.
Okay, friendliness, eye contact. What about preparation?
That brings us to Rule 6, which is the business equivalent of knowing your lines before you go on stage. 90% of success is showing up prepared.
90%.
It requires homework. Before the meeting, before the phone call, even before a casual introduction at an event, you must know something about the person's interests, their company, their potential needs. The good news, though, for those willing to do the work.
Yes.
Most people are either underprepared or completely unprepared. So if you are prepared, you stand out immediately. It shows diligence and respect. Huge advantage.
I love Rule 7 and 8 because they demand such a fundamental mental shift away from that transactional thinking we talked about.
They really do. Rule 7 basically says, drop your agenda, at least initially. And Rule 8 emphasizes, focus on giving, not extracting. You must take a genuine documented interest in others first, before you even think about asking them to take an interest in you or what you want.
So it signals you're seeking friendship, or at least mutual respect, not just trying to monetize their time.
Exactly. It lowers their guard instantly. Now, Rule 10 offers some crucial caution, especially for anyone listening who wants to network up.
Connecting with more senior or influential people.
Right. Rule 10 recognizes the reality of influence. The higher up the ladder you go, the more cautious people naturally are. They're time-strapped, they're guarded about their time and intentions.
Makes sense.
Therefore, you must deliberately go slower than you think you should. Build incremental confidence. Build rock-solid trust. Rushing is absolutely fatal at the executive level. Slow and steady wins the race here.
Patience is key then. And finally, Rule 17, this touches upon something we skipped earlier, Asset 4, which is all about reputation and consistency.
Yes, Rule 17 is kind of the summation of that consistency piece. Your present reputation determines your future fate. Simple as that. What people say about you when you're not in the room, that's your reputation. And the source's stress, it's not built on big, flashy events.
No.
No, it's built on small, daily acts of integrity, preparation, delivering value, being reliable, day in, day out. And Rule 17.5, the capstone, the point 5,
The mystery revealed.
is simply be yourself. Authenticity. If you talk real, act real, and are real, others will respond in kind. It ensures consistency and makes the entire connection process comfortable, repeatable, and honest for you. Don't try to be someone you're not.
Be yourself. Love it. Okay, now let's drill into the specific how-to of engagement, moving beyond the general philosophy. We know cold calling is the single worst way to make a true, rich connection. So what's the biggest mistake people make when they try to meet important people, say, at events or conferences?
The source has a great name for this. The rule of Drool.
Rule of Drool. Doesn't sound good.
It's not. The fatal mistake is basically begging, trying to push your way into their orbit aggressively. Or, maybe worst of all, slobbering all over the other person with excessive, often obviously insincere compliments just so you can work in your ask.
Oh, I've seen that happen. It's uncomfortable to watch.
It's a business form of begging, really. And it immediately sets off warning bells for the target person. They know you're solely interested in extracting something from them. Guard goes way up.
Okay, so if being overly complimentary, pushy, and basically drooling is out, what is a successful reverse strategy, the value connection that actually works on high-level targets?
It requires meticulous preparation and research.
Uh-huh.
This is key. You have to find out a specific way you can genuinely help them or honor them or bring some kind of non-monetary value to them. Then, and this is secret sauce, you ask nothing for yourself in that initial exchange. Nothing.
Wait, nothing at all.
Zip. The source gives a phenomenal, almost legendary example of this. A persistent salesperson trying to connect with a really busy CEO who just would not return calls. Standard problem.
Okay, what did they do? I assume they didn't just call again.
No, they stopped calling. Instead, the salesperson did their homework. They found genuine, quality sales leads for the CEO's company. Not for themselves, for the CEO.
Wow, okay.
Then they faxed over a single specific high-quality sales lead on Monday, addressed personally to the CEO, then another one on Tuesday, another Wednesday, another Thursday. 4 days, 4 valuable leads, no ask.
Just giving value consistently.
Yeah. Exactly. By Friday, the salesperson called the CEO's administrative assistant, didn't ask for the CEO. They simply identified themselves as the sales lead guy.
Ah, the sales lead guy.
And asked if they could possibly personally deliver the 5th lead later that day.
I bet that Friday call went straight through. The CEO had received 4 non-transactional gifts, delivering measurable value over 4 days. They must have been primed.
Absolutely primed.
Yeah.
The CEO is not only eager to take the call, they're probably grateful. And they will invariably ask, "What can I do for you?"
The reversal.
That is the opposite of drooling. That is the ultimate power of establishing value first. The salesperson didn't ask for a meeting. They earned one through sheer contribution.
That's brilliant. This leads perfectly into how you develop a powerful personal commercial, but a reverse commercial, as the source calls it when you do get to engage in person. The purpose isn't pitching your product right, it's engagement and qualification.
Exactly. And this is a highly aggressive qualifying strategy. It demands confidence for sure. You walk up to a prospect, say a VP of sales or a business owner, and instead of the usual, "Hi, I'm so-and-so from XYZ Corp."
Yeah, the standard opener.
You start with a direct, challenging, and potentially valuable question related to their world.
Give us an example of that kind of opening line. What would that sound like?
A great one from the source is, "How many of your salespeople didn't meet their sales goals last year?"
Whoa, that's direct.
It is. That question immediately sources them to think, maybe uncomfortably,
Yeah.
but it also simultaneously qualifies them as a decision maker likely facing a clear, potentially painful problem you might be able to solve.
I have to ask, though, doesn't that approach risk sounding inherently manipulative? If the ultimate goal is eventually to make a sale, isn't this just a sophisticated way of extracting information before you pounce?
That's a critical point. And it's precisely why the underlying philosophy must be rooted in genuine intent. You've got to mean it. If your goal is only to trick them into talking so you can make your pitch, then yes, it's manipulative and people will likely see through it eventually.
Okay.
But if your goal is genuinely to offer valuable insight based on your expertise, if you sincerely believe you can help solve the problem their answer reveals, then it's a high-level service introduction, not a trick. The immediate goal is to get them to do, say, 80% of the talking.
80%.
Yeah. Based on their responses, well, actually 70% didn't meet their goal, and yeah, I'm losing sleep over it. You follow up. Not with solutions yet, but with thoughtful, probing questions. Okay, what metrics are you measuring? What do you think caused that shortfall? What kind of ongoing plan do you have in place this year to help them exceed those goals?
So you're engaging them in their drama first, showing you understand the stakes, and then you close. How with the sales proposal, you said?
No, you close with an impartial offer of advice. The closing line is designed to earn the appointment based purely on credibility and impartiality. Something like, "Look, based on what you've told me, I don't know for sure if my firm's a perfect fit for you or not, honestly. But how about this? Let's grab breakfast next week.
Okay.
You can go into a little more detail about what you're trying to solve. If I genuinely think I can help you, I'll tell you how. And if I don't think I can help you, I'll tell you that too, and I'll try to recommend someone who can. Is that fair enough?"
Is that fair enough? Simple. Powerful.
It is. That simple, non-committal engagement takes maybe under 2 minutes total. It establishes profound authority because you're not pushing. And it almost always secures the meeting because the prospect trusts you, or at least is willing to bet that you'll put their needs first. All right, we've reached asset 5 now, and this is where we circle back to that universal truth we introduced right at the start. The core philosophy that truly changes everything in networking.
Let me guess. It's not who you know.
It's not who you know, it's who knows you. This is, without question, the most powerful element of connecting, according to all the source material.
And it makes sense. Most people focus entirely on building their outbound network. They're always reaching out. They often have zero strategy for building their inbound attraction, which is exactly why this strategy, when you execute it consistently, is so incredibly powerful.
Totally. If you have successfully positioned yourself in the marketplace as a consistent person of value, as an authority, as someone helpful, others will naturally seek you out. The dynamic flips.
The core philosophy behind this is pretty straightforward then.
Yeah, it is. It is a hell of a lot easier and way more productive to build trust by providing transparent, consistent value than it is to constantly be cold calling and making sales pitches.
Easier and more productive. Nice combo.
Isn't it? The author of our main source built his entire 15-year career, essentially, on this principle. He wasn't writing articles specifically to attract immediate contact or leads.
No. What was the goal then?
He was writing simply to help others solve common sales and loyalty problems they faced. That was the primary driver. People then contacted him because they connected with him mentally first, through his ideas and his willingness to share. Only then did they seek the physical, professional connection.
The value came first, the connection followed.
Precisely. So the big question for you listening is, how do we transform ourselves from someone who has to cold call into a valued authority that people actively seek out?
Yeah, how do we build that inbound attraction?
Our sources give us 8.5 elements of positioning. These are like the levers you need to pull consistently to ensure your reputation precedes you, to make sure people know you before you meet them.
Okay, 8.5 elements. Let's break them down. What's first?
The first, and often cited as the most powerful, is getting into print and being published consistently.
Writing articles, blog posts, maybe a book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The author's 15-year career of writing a weekly column on sales, loyalty, and personal development. That became the single biggest source of his notoriety, his speaking gigs, his book deals, his overall wealth. Consistency in publishing creates presumed expertise. People see your name regularly, associated with value.
Makes sense. What's next?
Speaking in public is another huge positioning tool. Think about it. The moment you are introduced as a speaker to a group, regardless of the topic really,
Yeah.
you are instantly perceived as a presumed leader, an expert in that space, and someone worthy of connection. It elevates your status immediately.
True. The stage gives you authority.
It really does. And of course, in the modern age, leveraging the internet to communicate that consistent value is just non-negotiable. You have to be online providing value.
How did the source illustrate this?
The powerful example given is the weekly e-zine, Sales Caffeine, reaching over 130,000 subscribers every single Tuesday morning.
Wow, 130,000.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed weekly touch point. A value message that keeps the author in immediate, credible contact with a massive list of people who are already pre-qualified, in a sense, to say yes to him because they value his content. This builds your network literally while you sleep.
Okay, print, speaking, online presence. What else? We also need to talk about differentiation, right? If you want to be known, you must be noticeably different.
Absolutely critical. If you just blend in with the wallpaper, you won't be memorable.
And if you aren't memorable,
no one can talk about you, recommend you, or seek you out. It's that simple. This often involves cultivating a slightly risky style, perhaps, or a unique catchphrase, maybe a bold visual presentation. Whatever it is, the goal is simple. Ensure you stand out from the overwhelming noise. Be distinct.
Don't be beige.
Exactly. Don't be beige. And the final 8.5 element, which ties into reputation, is letting others sell for you.
Testimonials and social proof.
You got it. The power of testimonials and social proof just cannot be denied. We know this instinctively. Customers and prospects believe other people like themselves far more than they believe your carefully crafted marketing pitch. So actively gathering and showcasing positive third-party validation is a positioning element that validates all the hard work you've done on the other 7 elements. It proves you walk the talk.
This all sounds great, but it clearly requires sustained effort. The power of consistency seems to be the thread weaving through all of this. It's what makes the investment pay off over the long term, often in unexpected ways. The sources share a great story about this, about the author giving a pro bono talk way back in 1990.
Yeah, it's a fantastic illustration of the long tail of value.
Hmm.
He gave a talk on enthusiasm of all things to a church singles group for free.
Okay.
2 years later, he was stopped by a complete stranger in a grocery store aisle. The guy recognized him.
2 years later, from one talk.
Yes. The stranger confessed he was at that 1990 talk, and 2 years on, he still thought about the key messages from that speech. And the kicker, the author admitted he'd completely forgotten giving the talk entirely.
Wow. That experience really shows how these acts of kindness and value, like that pro bono talk or sending out a helpful weekly easy-in they return to you, not always as immediate cash,
Right.
but often as your own incentive, your own encouragement, fuel to keep going.
Exactly that. When you consistently sow value, the people you affect will find a way to tell you. Sometimes it's years later, totally unexpected.
Yeah.
It comes back in the form of what the author calls cosmic payback, or a cosmic connection.
Cosmic payback. I like that.
Me too. These unexpected reminders, they give you the energy and the incentive to keep giving, reinforcing the virtuous cycle of Asset 5. It proves the system works.
Okay, let's delve into Asset 6 now. This covers what might be the biggest single roadblock to effective connection. The secret power of connections, the sources argue, is unlocked only when you eliminate one fatal flaw.
The flaw of prejudgment.
Prejudgment, meaning what exactly in this context?
It means spotting the negative first, focusing on what you don't like about a person or why they can't help you, rather than maintaining an open, inquisitive mind about their potential, their story, what they might offer, or what you might offer them.
And this is a massive error.
Huge, because it cuts off opportunities before they even have a chance to begin. You slam the door before you even know who's knocking. The antidote to prejudgment is twofold. Radical questioning, being genuinely curious and maintaining a truly open mind.
The source material encapsulates this concept really well. Open mind equals open wallet, and closed mind equals closed wallet.
That's the essence of it. It applies to all aspects of business, really. Prejudging someone based on their appearance, their current situation, or some superficial metric, it can cause you to miss massive, potentially life-changing opportunities.
And there is a vivid, high-stakes anecdote in the sources that illustrates this perfectly.
Oh yeah, it's a great story. Back in 1982, the author was at the Dallas airport, and he saw a casual acquaintance, a guy who owned a t-shirt company. This guy was swearing loudly at an American Express machine that had just eaten his card. He was visibly frustrated, maybe a bit disheveled.
Not exactly projecting success at that moment.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He was a person easily prejudged in that moment,
Yeah.
maybe seen as a fool, losing his cool in public.
Right. Most people would probably just walk by, maybe pretend they didn't see him.
Exactly. But instead of ignoring the situation or judging the man for his outburst, what did the author do?
What happened?
He paused, he paid attention, and he realized the man was desperate. He needed cash now to get on a flight. So instead of walking by, the author pulled out his wallet and loaned him $100 on the spot. No hesitation, no collateral, just an act of help.
Just gave him the cash.
Yeah. He offered an ounce of trust, basically, when it mattered most to that guy.
Fast forward 2 months.
2 months later, that same man, the t-shirt guy, called the author, and as a direct result of that single moment of kindness, that act of non-prejudgment at the airport, he awarded the author a $750,000 contract to print shirts for the 1984 Olympics.
$750,000 from a $100 loan based on not prejudging someone.
That's the story. It's the ultimate proof that an act of kindness, rooted in an open mind, can literally pay off 1,000-fold. It created a rich relationship instantly, based on trust earned in a moment of need.
That is incredible. Okay, so avoiding prejudgment is key, but connections also need to be sticky, right? They need to be memorable. That leads us to the strategy of WW. Them to woo them.
Yes. Memorability. It's all about creating extreme personalization and delight. You need to do something so surprisingly pleasant, so unexpected, that it creates instant positive word of mouth.
Give us some examples of these wow-W moments.
Look, okay, think about a hotel. Instead of sending the standard boring fruit basket to a frequent guest,
Yeah, predictable.
imagine the hotel staff, like 30 plus of them, autograph a baseball and present it personally to the guest. How memorable is that?
Way more memorable than a banana and an apple.
Exactly. Or another example, the Rhino Quartz Company. They gave every single attendee at their seminar a personalized hockey jersey with their name and number on the back.
A custom jersey. For everyone.
For everyone. Think about the impact. Those stories create instant wow. They don't just earn loyalty, they generate free, viral word-of-mouth advertising. People tell those stories, That's the most effective kind of positioning you can get.
It makes the connection emotional, not just transactional.
Precisely. Another example is the creative use of the humble business card. The author uses a custom coin card. Costs more, sure.
A coin card.
Yeah, like a metal coin with his details. It's guaranteed to never be thrown away. And it's guaranteed to be shown to at least one other person because it's so unusual. Hey, look at this.
That's clever, but maybe expensive for some.
Right. So for those who can't afford that, the creative extreme works too. The author created a hilarious business card for his cat, Lido, calling him the corporate mascot.
A business card for the cat.
Yep. Cost less than $20 to print a batch. But it created viral word of mouth for years because it was so funny and unexpected. Anything memorable, personalized, and delightful will cement your connection and make people talk about you.
Okay, wow them to woo them.
Yeah.
Got it. Let's look at asset 6.5 now. The final element, net weaving. This sounds intriguing. It's the secret power of harnessing the strength of many.
That's it. Transforming your role from just a networker to a network resource.
A resource.
Net weaving is rooted in a philosophy the source writer inherited from his father. Basically, giving to others gratuitously, helping connect people, sharing information, offering support, without measuring it, without expecting immediate repayment.
Just based on that belief that what goes around comes around.
Exactly. It's about fundamentally positioning yourself as a relentless, proactive resource to everyone you meet. You're always thinking, how can I help this person connect with someone or something they need?
Explain the dramatic difference this makes in, say, a professional setting, like a conference room.
Okay, think about traditional networking. You work the room, right? You're anxiously scanning, looking for the next person who might be able to help you. It's often stressful and self-focused.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
In a net-weaving environment, it flips. Because you have consistently established yourself as a valuable resource, someone who connects people to jobs, to customers, to key information, often for free now, everyone else in the room is actively trying to make connections for you.
So they become your advocates.
Yes, they know you're a giver, a connector. So when they meet someone you should know or hear about an opportunity that fits you, they think of you. It fundamentally moves you into a new business frame of mind, where you're constantly aware of the unstated needs of others and looking for ways to bridge gaps.
This really sounds like a lifelong commitment, though, not just a tactic you use for a few months.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Which is the very definition of the lifelong connection process. This is not a short-term effort you can just start and then abandon after a quarter if you don't see immediate ROI. Once you start genuinely operating this way, you cannot stop the flow of value. Long-term, rich connections require mutual interest, intellectual or emotional, regular communication.
And that communication needs to be value-based.
Always. Regular communication with a give message, not just an ask. And of course, occasional face-to-face meetings whenever possible to reinforce the personal bond. This discipline, when you maintain it over years, ensures your human capital asset base, your network of rich relationships, continues to grow and strengthen value for your entire lifetime. Hashtag tag outro.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into building rich relationships. We've covered a lot of ground, those 6.5 assets. From taking inventory, asset 1, and getting clear on what you want, asset 2, to taking prepared action, asset 3, positioning yourself so people know you, asset 5, the secret power of avoiding prejudgment, asset 6, and finally, harnessing the power of net weaving, asset 6.5.
It really boils down to a fundamental shift, doesn't it? The main takeaway for you, the listener, hinges on preparation, definitely consistency, and above all, that unwavering dedication to give value first.
That contribution first mentality, that seems to be the absolute key.
It truly is. That focus is what makes you the valuable asset 5 that others actively seek out. When you genuinely focus on helping other people get what they want, whether that's a new lead, a valuable introduction, maybe just some simple encouragement or advice, you inevitably, almost automatically set yourself up to achieve what you want in return. The system works.
So, to leave you all with a final provocative thought, something to really chew on, we turn to that legendary quote from Charlie Tremendous Jones. It synthesizes this entire philosophy so well, he said. The only difference between where you are right now and where you'll be next year at this same time are the people you meet and the books you read.
Such a powerful statement. So we challenge you listening right now. Take immediate action on that. Define the 2 people who will be on your must-meet list this year. The 2 people you will strategically target for massive, genuine value exchange. Who are they? And secondly, what 3 books are you committed to not just reading, but truly applying in the next 12 months to help you on this journey.
Define those people, define those books, and then, crucially, build a game plan to make that connection, to absorb and use that knowledge.
That is the necessary action item. That's what transforms passive knowledge from a deep dive like this into active connective success in your own life.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into building powerful connections. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and share with your friends who need to hear it.